AEW Dynamite took place in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania tonight, and they really wanted to let us know that they were in the Steel City, as at ringside, for the fans, you had custom terrible towels. If you don't know what the terrible towel is, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers, the football team, use that. The fans bring it to the home games, and they wave the terrible towel when the team is doing well. So AEW decided to do their own version of the terrible towel and had the AEW logo, and the fans waved the terrible towel during the match. It was actually kind of cool. I wish they would do that more for more gimmicks. For the city that you're in, they really want us to know that you're in that city. They should add more gimmicks. But for Pittsburgh, that was kind of cool. I guess if they were ever to go Green Bay, they could have like custom cheese heads. That'd be kind of funny. But fans were really into it. They really kissed Pittsburgh's ass, and he also had an appearance of Steely, the big Pittsburgh Steelers mascot. He appeared with Britt Baker later in the show, and she wore black and gold, the Steelers colors. So they really wanted to let us know. Again, they love the city of Pittsburgh. So you start off with Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur welcoming us to the show. Start up, you have a tag team tournament semi-final. You have Private Party, Mark Queen and Isaiah Kenny against the Lucha Bros, Pentagon Jr. and Rey Fenix. Very good matchup here. I enjoyed it a lot. It wasn't as great as you'd expect. I think if they had a big pay-per-view setting, they can really tear the host down. But they had about 12 minutes on TV, so they did the best they could here. I thought they had a decent match. And the crowd really got into it, but there was some sloppiness. It wasn't perfect at all. There was some things that could have been better, but I thought it was a fun opener. Got the crowd into it, and your winners are the Lucha Bros. So they advance to the finals of the AEW Tag Team Title Tournament, and they might be the favorites to win the tag team titles. We'll see who their opponents are, but they get the win here against the Private Party. And Private Party, I think this match made sense because I think one of the big reasons Private Party beat the Young Bucks a couple weeks ago was, when you look at it, you don't want to have the Young Bucks lose a second consecutive big match to the Lucha Bros, and because they have such a big feud now. They had that great ladder match, and they had the match at the first AEW pay-per-view. They've had matches. You don't want to give away a match like that on TV. So I think the Young Bucks losing might have been more done to protect the Young Bucks than to have than to put over a Private Party, to be honest, looking back. But Lucha Bros go to the finals. They're hyping up this Wardlow thing. I don't know. It's kind of like this infomercials type of thing. I don't know. I guess, he's this big bodybuilder type, that more of a WWE guy, if you will. So they announced Christopher Daniels is going to be out for a while after that injury he took from that pile driver last week and went out on a stretcher. You have Scorpio Sky and Frankie Kazarian come out next. Their opponents are the Dark Order, Stu Grayson and Evil Uno. So I'm not going to be frank about it. I'm just going to say what it is. I hate the Dark Order. I think they're a fucking shit team. They remind me of the Ascension. I can't stand their gimmick. I think they suck. I hate it. I hate this gothic bullshit gimmick. I don't know what it is. Emo or goth or just... It's just outdated. I don't know. It just does not fit in 2019. I think it sucks, and I think the guys, I'm just not into it. I cannot get into it at all. I'm not a fan whatsoever of these guys. I want them to go away. And then the way they started them off, it seemed like they're really going to push these guys. I think it's a horrible gimmick. I am just not a fan of it. I think it's garbage. In the ring, however, they're good. I mean, they're not bad wrestlers at all, so... You have Scorpio and Frankie having a decent match with them here. And the big thing was, during the commercial break, Chris Jericho, he leads the Inner Circle, which is Santana Ortiz, Sammy Guevara, but no Jake Hager tonight. But those three, him and Jericho, they go to the crowd and they go up into a press box to watch the match. And you see Jericho's commentary on the match or against SCU. They're cheering for the Dark Order. And there's a lot of cutaways, and it's just really such a thing where you just can't care about the match at all. Everyone feels like total jobbers. They mean absolutely nothing here. Eventually, SCU gets the win here. They beat the Dark Order. And then what happens later is the biggest segment of... sorry, we didn't get to there yet. We'll get to Cody segment later. Anyway, we had Kenny Omega against Joey Janela here. It just feels like Omega is not the centerpiece. I would assume Omega was going to be the guy in AEW who was going to be the top star. It's just not like that. I don't know. It doesn't feel like that. I'm sure they're telling a bigger story. They want him to have a huge moment. They'll build it up big, but he just doesn't feel like that big of a deal, to be quite honest. The match he has at Joey Janela, it's a good matchup here. I enjoyed it. Omega's fantastic. He's probably the best worker there is, to be honest. And Janela was good here. He's a decent worker as well. Janela, I mean, I miss Penelope Ford. I miss looking at Penelope. I don't know if he's still with her, but that's the thing with Janela. I miss Penelope. His matchup here was a decent match. I enjoyed it for the most part. Omega gets the victory here. After the match, Omega celebrates, and then they show they highlight some of the matches, some of the events that they're doing with AEW. They have Charleston, West Virginia. They have Charlotte, North Carolina, and then they have Nashville, Tennessee. It's one of those things. I think, I don't know what they're going to do in Charleston, but I think Charlotte and Nashville, those are good wrestling cities, so they should be good there. Both those cities are wrestling places. So, as Pittsburgh is tonight, they've chosen good destinations. I think they started Washington, Boston, Philly. I believe, was Philly last week? I think Philly was last week. Pittsburgh, so again, good wrestling cities. You have Cody and Rhodes come out, and this is the big segment of the night. He was lifted up through the stage in a cloud of fog when his wrestling entrance. He wears that Cody suit, and he comes out. He's in having an interview with Tony Schiavone, and him and Schiavone mentioned Jericho's name. Cody has a major announcement. The inner circle is distracting him. He has the privilege of growing up in front of the fans, and he wants to appropriate. He gets to make this announcement now. Then Jericho interrupts. He says, starts yelling, boo. Cody says, this isn't like any wrestling company they came from. There isn't an invisible wall. He said he can easily step up there and fight right here, right now. Jericho tells Pittsburgh to shut your mouth. He says you have a lot of bravado. Then Jericho calls Cody, this is the best line, an entitled millennial bitch, which is 100% true. You can't deny that. He talks about the inner circle. Jake Hager, I guess, is training for his next MMA fight. Then eventually Goldust walks out, and then eventually MJF comes out. And Jericho has the best line tonight, I think. He makes fun of MJF wearing a scarf. He says, who wears a scarf? And the fans immediately chant you. I thought that was hilarious. That was one of the best lines of the show. And you have 70-year-old Diamond Dallas Page come out, and they're really scared of that. He gets a big pop, though. The fact that they had Jericho scared of an old DDP is like, really? Anyway, Cody and his guys, they walk up to the steps. Jericho tells them to stop, and eventually Cody, he smashes the glass, and they have a huge brawl with the guys, and then they go to a Dippin' Dot stance, and man, I want to eat some Dippin' Dots. Those are the best. And they brawl all over Pittsburgh. They brawl in the stadium. They battle. First they went through the suite, then they went through backstage area. That was always fun. They had a battle all over the concourse. They showed Jericho show off his tickets, and Jericho was pissed off. Cody gets the better of him. Good segment here. Sets up their big match. Then you had a Young Bucks against the Best Friends. Good matchup here. I enjoyed it. I like the Young Bucks. It doesn't really feel like a huge matchup here, but it's something for the Young Bucks to do when they get the win over the Best Friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta, who are a very, very good team. And you had Orange Cassidy come in. He's very entertaining. He gets the double super kick. The Young Bucks officially accept the challenge issued by Santana and Ortiz, so they will face. They show a good video package on Britt Baker, her background. It's her hometown of Pittsburgh. And when we come back, here we go. You have Dr. Britt Baker against Jamie Hayter, and Britt Baker comes out, and she comes out with the Pittsburgh Steelers mascot, Steely McBeam, and the fans love Britt. They should there's Britsburg, signs, she's from Pittsburgh. The match they have here, it's literally sloppy. I did not like it very much. Britt was very over here. She wore the black and gold, so they liked her a lot, and she was going to be very over no matter what here. The problem I had with it was the match wasn't very good. I thought Jamie Hayter wasn't good, but Britt gets the win with the lockjaw submission, so good one for her. She rebounds from her loss to Rio a couple weeks ago. Now they're plugging the main event. Backstage, they showed Jen Decker, who's she's boobs. If you don't know, that's what MJF calls her. She's the one who's smoking hot with the big tits. Anyway, she's interviewing Hayter, and as Hayter begins yelling, Brandy Ward hits her from behind and points to the deck, and they had Britt. And it was strange. I don't know what they really did with the Brandy and Jamie Hayter, but they showed Jamie Hayter talking to Jen, and Brandy attacks Hayter, and they tried to have Jen interview Brandy, and she just left. So it was strange, but it was what it was. I guess I really don't want to see that feud. I don't care about Brandy at all. I don't want to see her wrestle. So main event, it's Pac and John Moxley. They had Pac jump Moxley with a chair before the match, and they have a battle here. It goes for a while here. Eventually, they're just really kicking each other's ass. And the match goes on and on. Really hot crowd here. They really, they had to kiss Pittsburgh's ass, but they really, they delivered Pittsburgh. They were a good crowd here tonight. And it was a fun matchup. And unfortunately, what happens is they can't beat Pac. They didn't want to beat Moxley right away. So their decision was, let's just go to a draw. I mean, Pac lost last week. You can't have him lose 2 weeks in a row. And you don't want to lose. There's no reason to beat John Moxley. That's be ridiculous. If you want to beat Moxley this early, it would be unbelievably stupid to have him lose. But they have a fun matchup here. Again, Pittsburgh's a good crowd. I enjoyed it. They had to end with a draw, so no one wins. They have a battle here. The match is officially ruled a draw, and you have Moxley hit the paradigm shift on the referee as the show ends. And right as he hit the paradigm shift on Pac, it ended. So he gets mad, he beats up the referee, and that's how the show ended. Crowd didn't react well to the ending, but they were great for most of the night.